Imagine this. You are standing 6 billion kilometers away from Earth. There's only pitch blackness all around. The sun? It looks like a small bright star from here. It takes more than 5.5 hours for that sunlight to reach this place. The temperature? Minus 230 degrees Celsius. So cold that if you take a glass of water, it will turn into ice harder than rock in less than a second. A year here takes 248 years on our Earth. I mean, if you were born here, you wouldn't even have your first birthday today. The name of this place is Pluto. It was once the 9th planet in our solar system, but today it has been removed from the list of planets. Today we will find out what is Pluto, why is it so amazing, what is the science behind it, and the biggest question, could there be life on Pluto? I welcome you to Nebula Nation. Let's start from the very bottom. When you look up at the night sky, you can see millions of stars. But there are only 8 planets orbiting our Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But there was a time when there was a 9th name on this list. That name was Pluto. For 76 years, we called it the 9th planet, read it in textbooks, memorized it. Then one day in 2006, scientists said, no, it's not a planet. But why? To know the answer to this question, you first need to know the incredible story of Pluto's discovery. The year is 1930. A young American astronomer is working at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona. He's only 23 years old. His name is Clyde Tombaugh. His job? Taking pictures of the sky every night. Day after day, looking at those pictures for hours, putting pictures of the same place from 2 different days on a machine and looking at them in turn to see if anything has moved. This method is called blink comparator. Stars are so far away that they never change their places. But planets, asteroids, they are close, so they move. February 18th, 1930. Clyde saw in a picture a tiny dot of light moving slightly from outside the orbit of Neptune. His hands shook. His chest began to pound. He understood. This was something new. He called the seniors. The research was verified. Everyone was convinced. And on March 13th, 1930, the whole world knew we had discovered a new planet in the solar system. Age is not a requirement for success in science. The planet has been discovered. But what will it be called? An 11-year-old girl named Venetia Burney, who lives in England, was reading the news with her grandfather at the breakfast table. Her grandfather said, "A new planet has been discovered, but it has not been named." Venetia thought for a moment and said, "Name it Pluto." In Greek and Roman mythology, Pluto is the god of the underworld, the king of darkness. This planet is so far away, so dark, that even sunlight has a hard time reaching it. So the name Pluto was perfect. Her grandfather sent the name to the observatory. The scientists voted. The name Pluto won. An 11-year-old child named a planet, and that name was written in history forever. 2006, the International Astronomical Union, IAU, held a huge conference in Prague. Thousands of scientists. There was only one topic on the agenda: what exactly is a planet? The IAU announced that an object must meet 3 conditions to be a planet. Condition 1, it must revolve around the sun. Condition 2, it must have enough mass to be rounded by its own gravity. Condition 3, its orbit must be cleared. That is, there must be no other large objects around its orbit. Pluto passed the first 2 conditions, but it failed the 3rd condition. The region where Pluto orbits is called the Kuiper Belt. Thousands of icy objects like Pluto are roaming here. Pluto has never cleared its orbit. So the IAU ruled Pluto is now a dwarf planet. This decision was controversial. Many scientists still oppose this decision today. Some say the definition is flawed because even Earth has not technically cleared its orbit. Science is never definitive. That's the beauty of science. Now imagine a comparison. Pluto is only 2,374 kilometers across. Our moon is 3,474 kilometers across. That means our moon is bigger than Pluto. Compared to Earth, you could fit the United States inside Pluto in 6 steps. If Pluto had roads, you could drive a regular car around Pluto in a day. So small. But this smallness does not diminish Pluto's mystery, beauty, and scientific importance. It's July 2015. NASA's New Horizons spacecraft has reached its closest approach to Pluto after a 9.5-year journey. It took these images of Pluto from a distance of just 12,500 kilometers. And as soon as those images reached Earth, The entire scientific world was stunned. A huge heart-shaped area was seen on Pluto's chest. It is now officially called Tombaugh Regio, after Pluto's discoverer, Clyde Tombaugh. This heart is about 1.6 million square kilometers in size. 2 states like Texas would fit inside it. It is made of nitrogen ice, and it is not static. It is slowly flowing just like a super slow glacier. Scientists say that the middle part of this heart, Sputnik Planitia, is rotating towards the center of Pluto because its weight affects the balance of the entire orbit. A planet has a heart, and that heart is pulling the entire planet. What could be more poetic science than that? The other planets in the solar system orbit the sun in roughly the same plane, like a flat disk. What about Pluto? That rule doesn't apply. Pluto's orbit is tilted 17 degrees relative to the plane of the solar system. And its orbit is elliptical, meaning sometimes closer to the sun, sometimes farther away. The orbit is so curved that Pluto sometimes comes closer to the sun than Neptune. From 1969 to 1999, for 30 years, Pluto was closer to the sun than Neptune. That means it was the 8th closest object at the time, Neptune the 9th. But they never collide because their orbital angles are different. Nature has arranged it in such a way that 2 dancers never bump into each other. Pluto has 5 moons. The largest is called Charon. Charon is so big that many scientists say it's a binary system, 2 dwarf planets orbiting each other. Charon's diameter is about half that of Pluto. It's about 1200 kilometers. Not only that, Pluto and Charon are tidally locked to each other. That means that the same surface of Charon is always visible from Pluto, and the same surface of Pluto is always visible from Charon. The 2 are forever looking into each other's faces, as if 2 creatures are clinging to each other in the depths of space. The other 4 moons are named Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. They were discovered after 2005, all names taken from the mythology of hell. Pluto has mountains, but these mountains are not made of rock. They are made of water ice. At that temperature, water ice becomes harder than rock. That's why Pluto's mountains are 3 to 5 kilometers high. Although they are less high than Mount Everest in the Himalayas, these mountains are made of some of the hardest ice in the universe. Nitrogen glaciers flow through the middle of these mountains. On Earth, glaciers flow a few meters every 1,000 years. The nitrogen on Pluto is so soft that glaciers move much faster. It's a different world. The familiar rules don't work here. Even such a small dwarf planet has an atmosphere. This atmosphere is mainly made up of nitrogen, along with methane and carbon monoxide. But here is the real mystery. When Pluto comes close to the sun, the ice on the surface heats up and turns directly into gas. This process is called sublimation. This gas creates the atmosphere. When Pluto moves away from the sun, that gas cools again and turns into ice and falls to the surface. That means Pluto's atmosphere breathes. When it goes away, it releases. This cycle goes on with each orbit of 248 years. A living process, but without life. Many people think Pluto would look white or grey because it has ice. But no, Pluto is reddish-brown. What's the reason? The reason is organic compounds called Tholins. When ultraviolet light from the sun reacts with methane in Pluto's atmosphere, these Tholins are formed. Tholins accumulate on the surface, giving Pluto that rusty red-brown color. And these Tholins are actually complex organic molecules, like the raw materials for life. They're also on Mars, they're also on Saturn's moon, Titan, and Pluto. There may not be life, but there may be the ingredients for life. This is the biggest question. The direct answer is not on the surface. At minus 230 degrees, there is no liquid water and the atmosphere is so thin that no life can survive. But scientists now say that Pluto could have a liquid ocean underground. How? Pluto has a rocky core at its center. That core could contain radioactive elements such as uranium, thorium, and potassium. These elements slowly decay, and in the process, heat is generated. That heat could melt the ice above, creating a hidden underground ocean. Scientists have analyzed data from New Horizons and found that there is an unusual layer beneath Tombaugh Regio, which may indicate liquid water. And if there is liquid water, hydrothermal vents in Earth's deep oceans are home to microorganisms that don't need sunlight. They survive on chemical energy. The temperatures are hundreds of degrees there. The pressure is unbearable, yet there is life. So could there be microorganisms in Pluto's dark subsurface, where there might be warm water? Science doesn't yet know the answer to this question. But science isn't calling this question impossible. And that's enough. January 2006. NASA launched the New Horizons spacecraft. At the time of launch, Pluto was still the ninth planet. When it arrived, Pluto was a dwarf planet. This vehicle was launched at the fastest speed ever, about 58,000 kilometers per hour, 15 times faster than a bullet. And even then, it took 9.5 years to reach Pluto. This gives you an idea of how vast space is. In July 2015, New Horizons flew within just 12,500 kilometers of Pluto. It didn't stop, because it didn't have the fuel to stop. But in the few minutes it was close, it collected so many images and data that it took about 16 months to send them back to Earth. The reason? It takes 4.5 hours to send data that far, even at the speed of light. Still, that mission showed us an unearthly beauty of Pluto. The heart, the mountains, the glaciers, the colors, everything. We thought Pluto was a lifeless ball of ice. But New Horizons showed us Pluto is alive, geologically active, changing. There are cryovolcanoes, ice volcanoes, which spew ice and water instead of lava.
Pluto is not just a dwarf planet. Pluto is a message. First message: how diverse the solar system is. We used to think of space as dust and rock, but Pluto showed us. Even in the darkest corners of the universe, there can be a complex, strangely beautiful world. Second message: science never stands still. What was true yesterday is being challenged today. Pluto was demoted from a planet to a dwarf planet, but this decision itself may change in the future. Third message: curiosity is the greatest power. A 23-year-old found it after staying up all night. An 11-year-old girl named it. So what can't you do? Pluto may not be a planet, but Pluto is a feeling, billions of kilometers away from the sun. Alone, cold, in the dark, yet it has a heart in its chest. That heart is called Tombaugh Regio. But it's not just a shape of ice. It's like a message from the edge of space to Earth. I'm here. Don't forget me. We could remove Pluto from the list of planets, but it still revolves in that corner of space, on its own terms, at its own pace. The universe is vast. The unknown is infinite. And Pluto reminds us there is much, much more to know than we know. And in that, not knowing lies the greatest thrill. এই ছিল প্লুটোর গল্প। যদি এই ভিডিওটা তোমার মন ছুঁয়ে গিয়ে থাকে, লাইক দাও, শেয়ার করো, চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করো। আমরা নেবুলা নেশন, আমরা মহাকাশের গল্প বলি, এবং গল্প বলার মতো মহাকাশ কখনো শেষ হয় না। পরের ভিডিওতে দেখা হবে। ততক্ষণ আকাশের দিকে তাকাও।